Alright guys, here we're talking about Umbrella Academy Season 1, Episode 1, a new Netflix original show based on a comic.
Are you ready to enroll in the Umbrella Academy?
Yes.
Do you know anything about this comic? Did you know anything
I know
going into it
nothing about this
whatsoever?
comic. I only know what we knew from the Comic-Con. We saw a sneak peek of this, and there was an
Excellent segue.
actor panel.
I was going to say, so we saw this at New York Comic Con. We saw several of the actors. There's literally a character in there, and like they're all talking, doing stuff. And I turned to you and I said, was David Tennant shrunk down? Like, is that boy possessed by the spirit of David Tennant? What's going on?
Because was that number 5?
That's number 5, and he actually is like that, at least, or like has the ability to be like that on a Comic-Con panel.
Yeah,
which is amazing and jarring, because like 11 from Stranger Things is just a kid.
Yes,
right? It's this weird thing when you see certain actors or actresses that act a certain way, and then you see them.
She is a bubbly, energetic, delight of a kid.
Yes.
But
she's a delight, but she's not this like you're not like, oh, interesting, right?
He wasn't snapping for the gram.
Yeah, no, he was a big deal. And we saw like several of the other characters, but the way they were talking about it, because having no insight into it, and them just being like, "Oh, it's great! I'm so excited about the project. It's great!" And whatever scene they showed or whatever clips, I was like, "That could be good," or whatever. And now it's finally out, and we're here. Ellen Page, and several other people who I don't know.
Yeah, Ellen Page seems to be a little out of place for me in this episode, in this show so far. Granted, it's episode 1.
Too old?
Not since she's too old. I don't know. She just like. Aside from her dancing part, I just thought that she wasn't really committing, and that could be the character itself, because she's playing kind of the outcast, the normie amongst a group of powered people and such like that. So I will give it a few episodes before I really lay judgment upon her.
Okay. That's an encouraging statement.
But
I was going to say, do you like it? Do you want to continue on the show?
I'm totally down with the show. It has all the things I need. Monkey Butler. It's got super powered people.
The hits just kept on coming, honestly. My notes just have all these exclamation points where I'm like, Pogo? Pogo's a monkey! And then it's like, Mom? And it's like, the mom's a robot! And it's like, various things kept coming up. I'm a sucker for what I've called like the non-standard superhero thing. Because I wasn't involved in comics growing up enough to see that whole thing become such a big cliche and then come all the way back. I just, as a kid, would know like Superman and Batman and like the big people, and then like the X-Men come in and the cartoons start coming out, the Spider-Man, X-Men, Batman cartoons. I know all that. So whenever I would see a thing where it's like, wait, what? Like Runaways or some weird other like thing where like the powers don't line up and like the ages and like the different things of the team. It's not symmetrical. It's all weird and doesn't make sense and doesn't line up nicely the way like professional superheroes seem to, right? It always feels so cool, and like I can't wait to find out more about these characters and all this stuff.
Yeah, things are less obvious.
Yeah.
This is an interesting group. So you have the power list seems to be...
I wrote them all down.
All right, read it out.
Number 1, Luther. He's a big, strong man. He's a blonde, strong man in space.
Yes.
Number 2 is Diego. He's Nightwing and throws knives. Number 3 is Allison. She was on the red carpet. She's some sort of actress or whatever, and she has some sort of rumor reality bending power or something to
she can make you
people
do things
stuff.
when she says, "I heard a rumor."
If she says it, or that's her like trigger thing or whatever. Klaus, who I wrote down Duncan Russell Trussell Peters next to his name because he reminds me of several like daft British lad comedian types or whatever.
He was great. He was on the show Misfits. And, really liked him on that.
I like him though, yeah.
He was in not Law-Abiding Citizen. What is the one? Something... The David Tennant movie that recently, I can't remember.
Bad Samaritan.
Bad Samaritan, yeah.
I didn't see that. That's awesome.
It was good.
No, I liked him.
He was in Geostorm, which you loved.
My favorite movie, Geostorm.
Yeah.
I forget what I rated that. He can talk to dead people and possibly something else, because I don't see how talking to dead people helps when you're out. Like,
I was trying to think, what was he doing in the bank robbery?
That was my issue. Where I'm like,
which one was he?
During the bank robbery, right? So like a blonde child, jumps in and starts pummeling a robber, and I'm like, I know who that is. And then a dude throws stuff, and I go, I know who that is. And then I heard a rumor. I know who that is. Obviously, it's the only chick.
Teleporting kid, you know who
teleporting
that is.
Kid, teleport. And then Ben, who happens to be number 5 is little David Tennant. Number 6 is Ben, who I wrote Dead Monster. because he's like, I don't want to do it, and he goes behind the thing and there's tentacles and crazy stuff. So he's
what else happened though?
He's
Like,
some sort of crazy
did
monster.
we even get anything from?
I don't think Klaus.
Was
so
he
like,
involved?
there were 6 of them outside the bank, but I don't know what Klaus did inside the bank.
Yeah, I don't either.
Because if that's his only power is talking to dead people, we'll see, I guess. Because we're just getting started, and these kid actors were involved way too much to only be in that one little drop. It's going to keep happening, I'm sure.
Yeah.
We're going to keep seeing all these things. Oh, so like... the I Think We're Alone Now dance scene, before I forget, when it pulls out and it's like a dollhouse or like whatever,
that
I
was
was like,
cool.
I love that so much. And I'm like, it's like the Royal Tenenbaums. And then I'm like, it's like a weird superhero thing with the Royal it's like the Runaway Tenenbaums. It's like this crazy mixture of like dark and weird superhero kid things. Oh, I love it so much.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the group. The number 7, obviously, we know. That's Ellen Page, Vanya.
And she has no power as of yet.
Whoa, okay. Do you think that's something going to happen?
I wonder. I feel like once we introduce, because we know there's bad guys, because there's how many brothers? There 12 different children with powers. Was that the number?
43.
43 children with
Yes.
powers? Okay, it's 43.
Well, 40. So like 43, I think. Did I write that down? A bunch of kids were born all over the world simultaneously, and they're all like immaculate, weird, crazy births.
Instant birth conception.
Yeah, like instantly, giving birth that were not pregnant.
Yeah.
This, dad in the thing, crazy rich guy, adopts 7 of them or like whatever.
Yes.
With a great text card, again, very like Wes Anderson, a weird text card. He got 7 of them or whatever. I laughed out loud. It was ridiculous.
No, it was nice.
So yeah, so like technically, all of the other kids from that day could all be villains or heroes or neutrals or like people involved in this universe.
So my thought is
great.
there's some parallel company that's snatching them up that is like going to be the bad guys.
Interesting.
And something between an interaction or trying to lure her over. He goes like, "No, Ellen Page, there are powers you don't know about yet." Like something like that.
Yeah.
And her being raised a normal person all this time, it will probably jump at the opportunity to be like her siblings.
I like the setup because she's like drawing the tattoo on her wrist to like want to be included. Yeah. Like her dad's like, I'm sorry, there's nothing special about you. She's like, ugh, and she has to like hang out with him and like be on that side. She's like his helper because she can't do it like the actual super things. That's a whole like psychological study in and of itself, and they even like make it clear to you because she wrote the book.
Yes.
My life is number 7. And you're like, okay. This has already been a thing. It's almost like Haunting of Hill House. We're going to have, I think, the kid stuff and then the adult stuff and keep going back and forth.
Yeah, I like that.
Have them all. Because it's like it's like very similar, actually, because you have the same thing of like, after what you did, just go. And she's like, oh, and like we don't know yet. And then you find out that she like wrote the book and did the stuff. Yeah, but it's off to a quick start. We get a quick fight with Diego where you're like, okay, this looks like it's actually rated like whatever, but sure, this is cool.
Yeah, Diego murders some fools.
And then later, number 5 takes care of business.
Number 5, it goes nuts.
Of business, if you will.
Yeah, even the bank robbery, there's a good splatter here and there.
Well, because I was worried about like we've been burned before. I'll say burned, a series of unfortunate events where something turns out to be. It's not the end of the world, but sometimes something is made with a younger audience in mind.
Yes,
and
that was a kid series. This
moments
is
when you could have, which I was afraid it might not be so adult or whatever. So I was like, okay, after episode 1, I'm already like on board in that way.
I'm interested to see Luther without a big coat on to see like what
Right?
does he actually look like.
It's really weird.
Because it looked like where he was cut, they was like really hairy and shit, or was that fibers of his coat? Or, like,
I couldn't tell actually. Yeah, that's a good point.
Or is that like his body healing it? I don't know what I was supposed to interpret from that.
I know.
Bit.
It was weird.
Like, I want to know how big of like a gorilla man he actually is.
I want to take a shot of him and put it next to a Goomba from Super Mario Brothers movie in the 90s, because that's what he looked like to me. His head looked so small and his giant body and all that stuff. Or like the Mr. Hyde from the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen movie in the 2000s. It had a weird look to it. I was like, but I like it. It's super dumb, but I'm like very on board with it.
Yeah, no, I'm in. And it seemed like it happened late in life because everyone's like, "Oh, you've gotten big."
Exactly. So maybe like being super and like stuff changes over time or something like that. I don't know why he was on the moon.
I was trying to get my theories on that together.
Okay.
And I wondered if it was his dad's idea, like if you go to the moon and there's less gravity, you'll gain less muscle mass because you'll be blah blah. Like if is his problem that he's gaining it too, like it's
Oh dear.
like is it multiplying? Is it
And
getting
there's like
so ridiculous?
and there's like a ticking clock while he's on Earth, and he's gonna slowly do whatever. Oh boy.
I don't know.
Yeah, but it's like a grab bag mixture, and then even like it's very clear what's happening with Klaus in it's okay. Diego's driving Klaus home or to the airport or wherever they're driving him out. He's in the back seat and he's talking to someone, and they do like the rear view mirror shot. They do like the whatever shot, whatever.
Yeah.
But there's a great shot when it pans over like the like frame beam of the car, like the divider, and then like Ben's there, and then he's like not there, and all that stuff.
Yes.
Like that one shot was good. I had better than it had any right to be, like right there or whatever. But Ben may be involved because he's hanging out as dead Ben with Klaus and all that stuff.
Yeah, I'm wondering what that
How
all
did Ben die?
works.
What's going on?
So we know that Klaus's powers don't work when he's high, and I wonder if Ben being around is upsetting to him, and he gets high to not see Ben.
Oh, yeah, right.
But we'll see what that does. I wonder if Ben can do anything from beyond the grave, if we're ever going to hear him talk.
Okay, like as an adult, right? Because he was just like making like motions.
Because when did he die? Because he looked like he didn't die as a child.
Right.
But the pictures of like the statue of him look like a child. So I'm wondering if do you continue to age in the afterlife? Like how does that work?
Yeah, I wonder when he died or how he died. I mean, if we can like.
Or is just a statue to him
as a commemorative
that
thing
we
of
liked
a child?
him as a yeah.
No, if you can extrapolate, I assume they kept fighting crime and got in like over their heads maybe or something because they stopped, except for Diego, it seems like, right? They went off and did their own things and all that stuff. But even that, I love coming in like at the end like this and not having to sit through all the normal superhero. We just do flashbacks of like bank robbery, whatever, and all that stuff.
Yeah. No,
it's a good
it's got a lot of
angle to be
potential as a show.
It does. I'm excited.
Indeed. I didn't think this one said limited series in the beginning either, so potentially this is something that could have some seasons to it, some legs.
I don't know how many. I
know nothing at all about this comic.
Yeah, I don't know how much
like
comic
a
there
single
is.
novel,
Yeah,
or if it
exactly.
was a series that ran for 100 years.
If there's 100 issues and this can keep going forever. I also don't know. We do not know if this plot line is like lifted off of a comic. This is
it might not even be. It might even just be inspired by, and not actually.
It might be like an Elseworld, because number 5 comes back from the future and says the world ends in 8 days, 3 days. What does it say?
8 days. I think.
So it's like, damn, you have that element of the whole thing going on. So I think it's 10 episodes.
Okay.
So it might be like one a day almost.
An episode a day.
Just take us through this next crazy week. How does it end? Ellen Page is like, I'll put on a pot of coffee. Like we have to save the world, right?
So Diego is to be perceived as the murderer of the father.
He has the monocle.
Yeah.
Dad was never without his monocle. You know that.
I do know that.
Because we were told. Do you think that like what do you think is behind that?
I don't know. I'm interested to know. I feel like there's going to be more to it than meets the eye.
Yeah.
But who's to say?
I hope he's not just the guy who killed him, because that's dumb.
He doesn't seem to have the power set to kill him in the way that
to make it look like an actual heart attack.
Like his I wonder if his power is directly tied to knives or throwing things in general. Does he just have great aim?
Yeah.
What is his power? I want to know his exact power.
Yeah. I want to find out more about stuff, and I feel like because their dad was so into like monitoring and testing and figuring them out.
Yeah, we'll probably get this knowledge.
We'll find out through those flashbacks of him like putting more and more weight on like Luther's like thing, and he's still holding right or like something like you're gonna find out like the limits and how stuff works or whatever. I'm like, this is exactly what I want out of like a thing, to not have the whole stupid thing of like, can he heal from that? Is that how that works? I don't know. Is he just a dude? He's just a dude, right? This is dumb. What's going on, right? I don't want that. I want like actual powers and kind of explain to me how how stuff works.
I want to know more about Ben. I want to know if is he swapping places with a monster? Does he become a monster?
Yeah.
How does that work?
Yeah.
Is there some trick we might not know where like if it's I swap places with some interdimensional monstery bullshit and it just goes crazy on stuff? did that monster die and he's now in the thing, or did he actually die? Like,
Oh, you're going so much deeper than we have any ability to go based on.
I
what's
like to
been
get all
shown.
my thoughts
I
out
like
early
it.
and then
That's
see,
good.
you know, where I may have ticked.
Yeah, because he comes out and he's just bloody, so it's not like he like tore through his clothes. So
No, his clothes were fine.
So like tentacles must just come out, or he must summon them or something, right? It must be some weird thing that happens.
I don't know.
I like it a lot. I like how weird it is compared to everything else, right?
Yeah.
Imagine like ice breath, fire lasers, flying, dumb stuff. This is such a weird like. I keep saying it, but like I appreciate that so much more. And I feel like I'm late to the party because it's been several decades where comics have been doing that stuff, but now we're doing it more in like an actual thing.
And we got lots of other babies that were born to know about some more fun powers.
Exactly. And you can have any excuse. I remember saying this in like a negative way with the Supergirl premiere that we watched, where it's like, well, all those space pods like landed or something, so you have any excuse to just insert any character or villain you want during any episode and be like, we found another one, and just say, there's a guy there or whatever. But here it's like in a good way, because they've been living and hiding for like the whole time. And the death of this guy is a great inciting event. If not for like the 8-day clock, having this guy die, people would hear about that and go, wait, it's our time to strike or something, or it's our time to reach out, or it's our time to do the thing, right? So
yeah, we'll certainly find out soon. What other things happened in this episode to touch a base on, other than predictions and guesses?
I don't think so too much. I think we did a great job of covering most of these things. There's a lot of funny moments and stuff. I don't know if there's anything you want to call out.
I like the, well, I'll see you at the next funeral. What, 7 years for Bonobo?
Yeah, that's good. I like that too. I already talked about the I think we're alone now thing, but it was so weird that they were dancing. I almost wonder.
Ellen Page's dance, was this perfect, awkward, like, can you dance? Are you dancing well? Is that bad dancing? Goodness.
Is that bad dancing or great dancing?
I can't tell. It's this thing where I'm like, is that a really skilled movement or is that the lack of skill? I don't know.
I actually had almost the same thought where I was watching her dance and being like, I could probably dance. Never tried it, but I could probably do that. Is that is that all you have to do? I could do that. It's really interesting. No, and like, so this is like a very bold and obviously wrong prediction, but part of me almost thinks like, was music somehow used as part of their training or like conditioning? Because they all snap into it and all
it's a catchy
dance.
Song, Lee.
I know.
I started dancing myself.
Okay.
My only issue with that scene was how loud
dancing.
must that music have been, because they heard it all over a mansion.
They all have super hearing.
No. Although the monkey was unaffected.
Well, he doesn't dance. He's like me.
I know.
But he could.
He doesn't have super hearing.
Exactly. He's an old deaf monkey.
Yeah.
I liked Klaus like putting out the cigarette on
in the ashes,
in the pile of ashes.
I thought it was funny when Luther dumps the ash and goes, "That probably would have been better if it was wind or."
It just like
something.
lands. Yeah, just like how inept they are at like that stuff. But I don't think that it goes too far. Like some of it.
No, it felt real.
Some of it like feels too far. Like his umbrella is just like a pink like stupid plastic umbrella or something like that.
Oh, just 'cause he's a goofy bastard.
And like
he's also wearing a dress.
Exactly. And then like Diego just doesn't have an umbrella and stuff. He's just getting like wet. And you're like, okay, like there's all these different like it's the personalities of like the people and how they like approach this this like thing. And it's not, I wouldn't say it's amazing and brilliant and great, but I'm saying like, no, this is all, nothing made me go like, well, I don't know about that, or I'm worried about like everything was kind of, like I don't know how much Pogo's going to be in the show. I didn't think
every episode.
I didn't think the effects were amazing. I thought that they were passable.
I thought that looked kind of like the Planet of the Apes, like the maybe up to the second one, I'd say maybe.
Okay. From when did that movie come out though? That's a long time ago.
I don't know, a while ago, but it was. I never had an issue with those movies where I was like, oh, the effects suck.
Well, like I don't need it to be this like incredibly realistic thing. It's fine the way it is. And the same thing with the mom bot, whatever. That's fine too.
She was fine.
But again, I'm just looking for things to cover all the stuff and be fair and all that business. I would love for them to keep just spending the money on the teleporting kid and the flashback superhero stuff and not waste it on making the monkey look better. Like the monkey looks.
No, the monkey's as good as he's gonna get.
Exactly. So.
Yeah.
No. So I think that we can say if you've only seen the first episode, like us, and you somehow found this, this show's great. You should keep watching it.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely optimistic. I'm entering this with positive vibes. I plan to enjoy the rest of this series. That's our thoughts on this episode, guys. Let us know in the comments what you thought about it. Don't die in a fire, and we'll see you next time.
Hello, internets. I just love watching JustDaggers. If you've enjoyed this video as much as I have, click that subscribe button. Peace out, homies.